sticks in the corner. Hey, how you doing? I'm Joe Bodnar of Bodnars. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I can't believe it. Welcome to Bodnar's Bit and Banter. I'm Joe Bodnar, your host. Great to see you on the podcast number 3. I have my lovely...
I'm his wife, Maureen.
Yes, thank you. Lovely wife, Maureen. How are you? Great to see you. Love you very much. Would you like to do that again? I guess we could. I thought it was funny, but that's fine. All right.
Keep going.
I think we're good. Exactly. And we have the lovely...
Danny Gonzalez.
Great to see you. And back by popular demand on such a great episode last time, we have...
Tracy Williams.
All right. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us once again. Oh, my God. What a week we've been doing this week. Between sorting and cataloging jewelry and so Star Wars, that's been the topic of this week. My goodness. I mean, the building right now is full of the Force. Good and evil. It is. It's good and evil back there. You know. The other day, I was back there. This might sound crazy, but literally, I was back there and I felt something go through me. It was the scariest shit. I didn't tell anybody.
Back there?
Yes.
Really?
Wait, can I tell you a story?
I was like, is he making this up?
No, I'm not making this up. I swear to God, I've never had anything like this happen in my life. But last week, or this past week, I don't remember what I was playing with by where you're doing jewelry right now. I was standing there and something went like through me and I was like, whoa, I've never felt that before. But go ahead. I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
So it was I've only really been alone there once. I think it was like doing photos and everybody had left. And like everything is fine. A little exposition for you. I'm Puerto Rican. My grandmother was very spiritually inclined. Tons to run through the family. I'm not saying I see ghosts, but it just, I don't know. You feel a little bit, some people are a little bit more sensitive, let's say.
Right.
So I'm chilling, like doing my thing. And then all of a sudden I just got this wash over me and like my heart just started racing and I just felt like I knew I was alone physically, but I knew I wasn't alone.
Was this recently?
It was maybe I don't know. It was before Tracy. It was before Tracy.
I was going to say if you were there taking photos,
it was before
building.
Tracy was here. So I was like finishing up photography for the day.
Wow.
And everybody had gone. And I was there like just wrapping up because I think you guys were coming back. I don't know if you were here. Right. I don't know what the situation was. But I was there alone, and then all of a sudden I got this wash, and I was just like, all of a sudden my heart started beating, and I just felt the presence of someone there. I was by the photography area, and like I literally stopped dead in my tracks, and like started getting goosebumps, and I was like,
wow.
Stared at the door, didn't see anything.
That's crazy. See, now I'm
and
back
then
there.
after a few minutes it passed, but it felt like a male energy.
Well, there you have it. Sometimes I always say, do the things that we sell carry from the spirits of who we're selling it
like
from?
A thing. It seemed like something that was
you never know.
In the area or in...
I have touched things in photography and it's like, no, this is not like I shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like there was a couple of things. I don't remember what it was. It was when we were doing the old antiques.
Right.
Like, and it was, I think it was Egyptian or it looked like it was Egyptian or something like that. But I was like, I need to not touch this as much as possible.
You know how many times at the Ukrainian Center where we dumped ashes behind the building? Yes.
No.
Not in a bad way, but
didn't I have this conversation with you?
No. Yeah. How many times that
out of urns
or out of or just the body?
I was
what are you
talking
gonna do?
to someone recently in the back talking about how many
people were talking about pet ashes.
Well, pet ashes too. But it was a whole cabana of ashes. It's everybody's ashes. But out of all honesty,
we were talking about this. But there's so many people that you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, but we have, these ashes here, and they don't care.
Yeah, no, we've had that plenty of times. I mean, it's not like, oh well, we found this body was thrown in the back. No, it's more like a relative doesn't want one's ashes
so
or something like that.
I can't. Or like even if they don't want them, that like the family member wouldn't want to be the one to like disperse them somewhere.
Well,
if you don't want
what if you had a bad
them.
relationship with your I don't know, parent.
I don't know. It sounds like that's a lot more ashes than the situation that like they are.
But yeah,
this person.
You could sell them. I mean, I don't think you can sell them legally. But
ashes?
In theory, you can sell the vase and the ashes come free. I don't know. I mean, you can sell something like that.
Free gift with purchase.
Yeah, you get.
Stop it. That's how we used to sell liquor decanters. Old figural liquor decanters and things.
Liquor decanters, we used to say that all the time.
We don't have a liquor license, so we would say you're buying the figural decanter and the liquor comes free.
Yeah, and the contents come free. We used to do that all the time.
Really?
Wow, this is turning into a very interesting conversation.
Seriously.
Wow.
But you know how many times?
What do we do with it?
Yeah, what are you supposed to do?
What can you do?
I'm not
we have
like
Bodnar's collections of
curiosities and ashes.
It's something I wouldn't have expected.
We would just scatter the ashes.
We would scatter the ashes in the back. It would be like, throw it out. No, it'd be more
do it
like,
respectfully.
Yeah, be respectful. Exactly.
Okay.
I should clarify. Yes, we were very respectful.
Yeah, it wasn't
my
like,
father's
don't
a
have
minister.
Jeffrey do it.
We could have a prayer and everything else. As we go back.
In my mind, I just see Jeff.
No.
Like with like a vase, like with someone's grandmother.
With
someone's grandmother being like.
No, it wasn't like that. It was more respectful. We'll play some Amazing Grace and go to the back.
But it would happen all the time.
But that would happen all the time, more than you would think.
Oh, that's really, really sad.
Yes, more than you would think. And you would find it. Shit, I had a couple of times where it was in a vase and it broke and shattered everywhere. And there was black soot everywhere. I've had that happen too. But you never.
When you think about it, I mean, things break at the auction.
It happens. Yeah,
things break at the auction all the time.
It can happen.
We've had like old barometers and thermometers, things with the mercury.
Yes, I'll never forget. It was like the Terminator in the
fall and break.
We had a bottle of mercury that came in. I remember it was when I was photographing, and it was they used it as some type of lubricant or something on something, but it was literally like a little wooden spool bottle.
Where my brain just went there.
Yeah, my brain went there too. We're lubing with mercury.
No, but kid you not,
you have a glow-in-the-dark penis or?
No, it was literally like a full bottle. It was a wooden spool.
Right. I know what you're talking about. I do remember that. Yes. Very heavy. But yeah, mercury. It was like in a little wooden bottle.
Lubricant.
Yes.
You remember? And I was like,
remember.
And then like you can't wipe it up.
No, you can't
because it just beats up. So like, but some had spilled in the box. So as I'm photographing it, there's like,
I'm sorry.
There's these teeny beads of like, and I was just like, I'm gonna die. I was like, I'm gonna. This is it. I was like, this is how I die. This is how I die.
What you're remembering is that we did a big clock collection. It was she had the cars and everything else, and she had all the barometers.
No, I'm actually going back to the Ukrainian Center.
Yeah, back at the Ukrainian Center. I guess we didn't sell her stuff at. I don't remember. We had a big collection of barometers and mercury pendulum clocks, and we told the guys, do not lay them down. And they brought it and laid it down, and all the mercury is all over the ground. Hardwood floors, right? And it looks like the Terminator going around. And Timmy, remember Timmy's going there trying to wipe it all up and collect it. And isn't that? He's trying to wipe it up. And oh my God. It was like, I'll never forget that.
Some interesting pickles.
Yes, definitely some interesting pickles. I don't disagree.
Unknown substances in bottles.
Oh. Yeah, or,
Well, okay.
Well,
I'm going to tell this story.
Oh.
I'm going to tell this story.
What do we got?
Unknown substances in bottles.
Yes. Well, that's true.
A woman dropped off old pharmacy bottles.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Back at the expo center.
Yes.
And Joe was going through them, and about an hour or so later.
I don't think it was an hour. It's like 20 minutes.
I remember this story.
A little while later, this guy comes to me. He has welts all over him.
Welts all over me. All over me, man. I'm like,
what did you touch?
I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm like looking in the mirror. It's like fucking a horror movie. And I'm like, they're going
freaking out. He had like Morgan silver dollar size welts all over his body.
All over my body.
So I'm like, what would you like me to do? Do you want me to take you to the hospital?
I said call 911 immediately.
He said call me an ambulance.
Yeah, I said call an ambulance immediately. Yep.
Well, I called the ambulance. They showed up.
Yep.
The guy was very zealous, let's call him. Overzealous.
Who, the EMS guy?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So he says, well, what happened? So he says, I was touching these pharmacy bottles, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, we didn't know what was in the
freaks
box.
out.
Yep, freaks out.
Anybody who had been near Joe or touched the bottles had to be quarantined in one room.
Yep.
Anybody who had not had to be quarantined in another section of the building.
Yep.
They had to shut down the building.
Wow. Yep.
Now,
this is at the Expo Center. Kids, to the book, the Expo Center.
The kids were with us.
Yeah, my kids were with us, yes.
But I had touched Joe.
Yep.
You had to be.
So they had to be in a complete different room. I'm on the phone with Janet talking to the kids. Like, it's okay. Everything's okay.
And we're talking, my youngest then was probably 4 or 5. And Joey at that time was probably 13, 12 or 13. Yeah, we're going back 7 years ago.
Freaking out. Yeah. So they called in.
There's a lot of great funny stories to this guy.
They called in Hazmat.
Yep.
Of course.
Hazmat came in and they're outside with the full Hazmat suits on and the wands.
They were.
And they found uranium.
Yep.
In one
radiation
of them.
poisoning?
Yeah, I don't know what I had.
So,
well, we'll come back to what I had. I don't know.
They put Joe in a full-on hazmat suit.
So they put me in a
You got put in a bubble.
Yeah, they put me in a bubble. They put me in a full hazmat
suit.
Yep.
And wheel him away.
Right. And, But keep this in mind. As they're wheeling me away, I don't know what the hell's going on, right? But they're in there. I'm stripped down. There's like 4 of us in there. There's you.
Me, you, Nick. I remember
Nick was in there.
And someone else.
There was like 4 of us in the room. And they put me in the hazmat suit. I had to strip down naked, put me in the hazmat.
Picture of him
we have pictures of this. They wheel me the fuck out, right?
I had to take pictures.
There had to be like 30 fucking emergency vehicles in the parking lot. You know, hazmat, ambulances, cop cars, FBI.
Everything.
Everybody's there, you know. And I'm like, and they got this robot coming to get the box, and then fucking going to pick it up, this and that. I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, and mind you, the other half of the expo center had something else going on.
Yeah, there was something else going on.
And it was letting out, and they're just walking right through. Like, if I saw the little men in the hazmat suits looking like, the space aliens out of the 50s, and I'm not going over there. Oh, no, they're just walking.
I'm laying there all fucked, right? And they're like debating, should they take me in an ambulance? Should they not take me out? We're sitting there like for an hour.
Because they're worried about being exposed.
Yeah.
And you're dying in this suit.
I'm lying in this suit in our break room. It was in our break room where we're at. And we're sitting there for like an hour. And I'm like, dude, man, let's go. So they wheel me off. They take me to the hospital. We get to the hospital. I'll never forget this. It's freezing cold. It's like 22 degrees out or something. They wheel me in and they don't want to bring me in the hospital. The hospital refuses to take me in because they're like, we don't know what you got. We don't know if you have something that's like anthrax or something like that. We refuse to let you in. So I'm like, whatever. So we're sitting out there. It's freezing. Finally, they let me in.
They strip me
down, and some nurse washes me. Scrubs my butt, scrubs my scrotum, everything. I'm like, holy shit. It was crazy, right? And then they throw me in this other quarantine room, and now I'm sitting here, and I'm in Perth Amboy of all places. It was in Perth Amboy, and I was at in Perth Amboy Hospital, and they got all these lunatics in there, like in their ER, and it's crazy, yelling,
I go to pick
screaming.
Him up, and they had to shut down the entire emergency room.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was total fucking
craziness. Was it a full moon?
It must have been.
And it turned out we don't. They said uranium and stuff. We think it might have been Excedrin that I took that day.
So here's the thing. Yeah. I used to take a lot of Excedrin migraine.
Yes.
We've had this conversations about migraines, especially in auction week and everything. Mm-hmm. So Joe had no Tylenol with him. And I was like, just take 2 of my Excedrin migraines.
Right. So I took 2 Excedrin.
So he took it. Lo and behold, about 6 months later, same situation. He had no Tylenol. I gave him 2 Excedrin migraines, and somebody broke out with the Morgan dollar-sized welts all over his body again. I'm like, really? We went through hazmat and everything, and you're just allergic to Excedrin? Are you kidding me?
But there was uranium and some other.
I would love
stuff
to be able to figure out how to cut the photo of Joe in the hazmat suit into the video on this podcast.
I'm sure we could. I don't know how to tear. That's fine. I looked like a Ghostbuster. I was all in white.
So there was uranium in that box as well?
There was still, but there was uranium in the box.
Total craziness. That you know what's crazy? So hazmat now they're all pissed off, right? So the whole hazmat crew's pissed off. They're like, "How did you get this? Where did it come from?" I'm like, "Well, it was an old
someone dropped it off.
And it was an old doctor's case from like the turn of the century. Yeah. That's what it was, and it had all the pills and stuff in it still." So now they want to charge the consignor $25,000 for their response, because all the response to the hazmat that came out in fire department and police, I don't even know where they settled with that, but they were going to charge her $25,000. they refused to take the hazarded contents. They put it in a yellow, big yellow jug. All right. And
Like
they gave
bin.
it to me. And I had it in the back, right? It was in a jug. And I had it in the back for years.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Let me see that. I'm like, I don't even. Yeah, that's me. They got me in the hazmat. So
I have saved this picture. It is from 2015, and I have kept
2015.
this on my in the cloud,
Wow.
safe and sound.
That's
So
hilarious.
they give me the fucking thing, and it sat next to my building
had to
over
figure
here
out
for
what to do with the
years.
uranium.
I think eventually I fucking threw it in my dumpster and
got
said
rid of
it's going bye bye. So it went off to the dump. God bless the Italians with the dumpster company. So that's where it ended up going, I think.
That
But
is
can you imagine? Can you imagine?
You legit might have to cut that out of the episode.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. That's not illegal.
If
It was
it's
ille-
uranium,
It was
radioactive.
But it was illegal. Why did they give it back to me? What
the
am I
fuck are
supposed
they
to
gonna
do
do
with
with
it?
it?
Fuck that.
They're
It's their-
hazmats.
it's
They
their
know
hazmat.
how to do with it.
Dispose of it properly, or they should at least.
What's that?
You know,
They-
it did
they
sit outside the
should.
building for a very long time.
What
Cool.
happened?
But it was in like this big
Awesome.
barrel,
Yeah, it was a big barrel.
all surrounded on the inside by like sawdust. And when I tell you the bottle was this big,
Yeah, it was like this big. Well, who
was this
cares?
tiny little
We're all
bottle
still
in
here,
this
right? We're 10
giant
years later.
barrel.
I'm living. so,
like
so yes.
anyway.
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. So,
So
total craziness.
I'm gonna start this right at the point where
just
Christian
keep
needs
talking.
to cut
We get
back in.
edited. Yeah, no, just keep talking.
Whoa.
Time in.
Wow.
But yeah, so yeah, no craziness,
Crazy.
and that's the story of me with the hazmat. $25,000. Can you imagine they wanted to charge her $25,000?
I can. I'm surprised it's not more
You
for
know
them
what?
to do fucking nothing.
I don't
It's a lot.
disagree. And you know what's crazy about that? I got an ambulance bill, $3,200. They didn't even do anything for me. They threw me in a bag and sent me to the hospital. It was $3,200.
Healthcare in America, everyone.
I mean-
you heard it here.
I can't. $3,200. I got a bill from the I had to pay for it out of pocket. $3,200. I couldn't believe. I said I would have
you see
fucking
any-
drove
any
myself.
spread?
I mean, my God, I paid $3,200 to get bathed
Wow.
because they scrubbed me. It was
Yeah.
a hell of a
He
bath.
was
Was
like,
it a nice?
They violated me. No, I was like,
At
you
least-
violated my
no,
ass.
I picked him up and he was so sad. He was
I
like,
was.
she scrubbed me raw.
Oh, she did, man. That's
She
right.
Scrubs
I didn't
me
like it.
You know
raw.
what? The only thing that will disappoint you more in life than a man is the American healthcare system
I guess so. I don't disagree.
in life. You
My
know,
goodness. But yeah, no. So, back to the story of
get out of
jewelry.
the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
we were
we're talking about
cataloging
it
jewelry and Star Wars is what got us on there. Yes, that is
the
true.
Force.
Something go through you.
Well, I
felt the
did. I felt
Force.
something go through me. But I do. Back on that for a second. I truly believe everything has an aura around it. And we can say this with a lot of all the estates we pick up has its own aura. If it was a good person and they had love through them, their shit does great. And if you have someone who just hated life and it's all about money, it
tanks every time.
It tanks and
And they could
sucks.
have the same
It
exact
does.
thing,
It really
right.
does. It's a God
They
honest
could have
truth.
the same thing. It's just, we call them like when you walk in a house and you just get that feeling and it's
Absolutely.
great stuff. We're like,
Yes.
oh, this one's wrapped in a bow.
Yeah.
That's what we say to each other
Wrapped
because
in a bow.
because
I
you
like
know
that.
it's
I
going to
like
be
that.
a perfect present.
Yeah,
it's
no,
going to
it-
be wonderful from start to finish.
How did Brooklyn feel for you?
What's that?
How did Brooklyn feel for you?
Brooklyn has mixed emotions. We'll see when we get into January.
I had good feelings.
So Brooklyn is an interesting job, and by the time this podcast or runs, we have sold the first lot of that, and batch 2
Yeah.
will be in February. But Brooklyn had a good feeling to it at the beginning, and then it was kind of mixed. But she was, but with her, you got to keep in mind she has dementia or something like that. So dementia can make you
Yes.
go like that. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? So that's a
yes.
tough one. That's a tough call. It had good feelings.
You know what I'll
I had
say?
good pizza.
Good pizza.
I still have pizza in my freezer.
Yeah, I have pizza in the freezer from Brooklyn. Yeah. Would you like some pizza tonight?
Shout out to the Brooklyn pizza. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
they were great. They were delicious.
I will say though, I think it wasn't so much her for me. It was, and like I'm used to dirty things. Like we all
it was
work
all
with
very
filthy
dirty.
It
things.
was all very dirty.
It was how dilapidated the actual store was inside.
Yes.
It was rough.
Like when
I've
it
been in
started
worse,
raining,
but it was rough.
but when it started like raining poop water,
Yeah.
and there was like not enough, and the movers hadn't come, and
Yeah.
there was like no place to move around, and like
Yeah.
I'm getting dripped in the face with poop water.
Yeah.
It's like there was those things
Hey,
that I found
mean,
challenging.
It was
That's
challenging.
true. That's true.
Challenge.
I mean, I'm
not bitching.
I'm
I'm
still
just saying
getting
it was,
black
it
on
was,
my hands from every time we catalog
I am-
everything right
yes,
now.
still.
Photographing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I ended up on Facebook Live you know.
Yep.
Oh, that's true. You were
on the toilet.
That's right. You were
And
going to the
all my
bathroom and they
glory.
came in with Facebook
And the
Live
landlord
on
came
you.
in and was Facebook Living the space.
Yes.
And me,
Yes.
apparently.
Listen, but I've been in work. We did a house where we moved a dresser and there was a dead cat underneath with the bones and
Stop.
everything. And like,
Oh yeah, no, we've been in. When I
I've
tell
been in
you
a lot
some of the
worse.
things we've been in,
I was in
Unclean.
I was in Trenton.
Unclean.
There's two places. I got two stories.
Oh,
There was a place in Trenton that I went into, scary as shit, and it was just dilapidated and shit everywhere, and it was just terrible. I mean, just terrible.
the cat pee house.
The
for
cat
me.
pee house. So that we got a fantastic DeLorean from this cat pee house, and so they must have had 36 cats in their house.
And I'm not kidding.
No, and I'm not kidding.
Everything.
We were
was
carrying,
covered in cat piss.
but no,
So-
because they had room sanctioned for no cats,
And
right?
that stuff still smelled
It
like
still
cat pee.
smell, but
Even in the rooms not sanctioned. So it was a beautiful home in West Orange.
yeah, West Orange, beautiful house,
The
like
woman
$1 million
who
home.
owned it was an opera singer originally.
I guess she was. You're
she
right.
was an opera singer. I mean, this house. Oh, Danny, you would have died.
It was a beautiful house.
It was you walked in
smelled
and the
fantastically terrible, but
the black and white marble floor that led to the grand staircase and
Yeah.
the giant parlors on either side
Was
of
there
the
a
hallway.
solarium?
Yes, there was a solarium.
Yeah, there was. That's
it
true.
was gorgeous.
Yes.
And it was all her original furniture, but the son had moved in.
Yep.
He was a hoarder.
Yep.
He had problems and he hoarded cats. And it was
cat
Oh
order.
no.
and I mean we aired that stuff out for months.
I tried.
We cleaned it.
I tried to clean it. Oh my
Did
god.
everything. It wasn't coming
You can't.
out. It wasn't
You
coming
can't.
It was brutal, man.
out. Oh my god. And
the-
I think they probably ended up tearing the house down.
Ooh.
and I didn't. We saw. But,
Well, once it soaks into the wood,
you know what
and-
they had? They had fantastic yard rows. I mean, yard rows that
Yeah.
were like 2 feet
Huge.
tall.
the rare ones, the Cinderella's carriage, all that.
And they had rooms where they had plastic down to keep the cats out, and you would go into the room. It wasn't terrible, at least in my opinion. Now, some of the furniture, the dining room definitely got hit because I took the sideboard and I could not get the cat piss smell out of the sideboard. I had to throw it out. It was like $1,000 sideboard. I had to throw it out. It was
and
terrible.
when I tell you this stuff, the furniture was gorgeous.
Yes, it was.
Gorgeous, but
And we got a
destroyed.
DeLorean, and I got the DeLorean sold. The DeLorean sold for like
we did get the DeLorean.
36,000, 38,000.
Yeah.
I think it sold
We
for.
did.
We had a DeLorean that had like 8,000 miles on it. No cats were in that.
I was gonna say, was there cats
There were
allowed in there?
pockets on the stainless steel from outside, but we cleaned those off.
And let me
just
tell you
a little
something.
bit.
You want to you think of a DeLorean. What do you think? It's fantastic, right? You probably think it's like a hot rod. You know,
Probably a piece of.
It's
it's the
shit.
biggest piece of shit I've
Garbage.
ever drove in my life. Awful car. Awful.
car.
Has no pickup. Has not. So I drove it. You know, I drove it from here to the expo center. Terrible. Hated it. Buys it. Had to bring it back here to my house. It sat in my driveway
Oh,
for
which I hated.
2 weeks.
Because people, no, I'm not kidding you. I'd go outside at
are
11
taking
o'clock
pictures
at
of
night,
it?
and people would be right up against my house
People
in my
pull in our
driveway,
driveway and take
taking
photos.
photos. I'm like, hello.
I could have made $1,000, like $20 a
Charging
photo.
photos.
Unbelievable.
Trespassing.
Yeah, I mean, really, if we had a building or a permanent location, I had the money, I would have bought that car. You know why? You can't believe how many people it draws
Yeah.
just to take a photo in it and to look at it and this that. But driving it,
Now imagine putting all the Back to the Future crap.
yeah, and then putting all the Back to the
Exactly.
Future stuff on it. No,
Exactly.
But what a piece of junk.
putt.
Hated it. Hated that
Little
car.
sloppy jalopy, you know.
They're awful. It was an awful car. Great look. And you know what's funny? You would think like 8,000 miles. You go, oh my God, there's a mile. You know, all of them. Anyone you look up, they're less than 10,000 miles. Nobody drives them.
Nobody
They're
drove.
garbage.
No, they
shitty.
just
They were
bought them
garbage.
because they like this new Tesla truck. You know, I
Ooh,
can't stand that
Cybertruck?
either.
Oh,
I can't imagine that truck's going to take off. I
Have
think
you
it's
seen a
piece of
Cybertruck
junk.
take a turn?
No, I
It's
haven't.
hilarious. It's like
It's so bad. I hate them.
They're so
Right. And it moves over.
so bad.
ugly.
They look like corporate trash.
They do. They look like corporate
You know
trash. They're
what?
terrible. It's a horrible
if,
look.
if we were in more of a dystopian world,
Yeah.
They would fit right in.
they would fit right in because I feel like that's what the bad guys would
And
drive.
it's so,
Right.
right? It's
that's
so
what it's
funny.
giving.
The moment I saw
it's giving
one in-
obtuse.
Yeah, it is. The moment I saw it for the first time, I said, "This is the DeLorean of the 2020s."
yeah, I guess so.
Like this.
They look
is-
terrible, and they
they're
have zero
horrible.
traction. I've seen them struggling in the snow. Videos online. It's crazy.
But yeah, no, there's worse places you can be than in Brooklyn.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, I still went.
But I agree. I don't know if it was poop water. I know you guys
we
swore
just call it poop water, but it was
it had a brown tint to it.
It might be. Who
So,
knows?
guys, like,
I don't know.
basically-
I don't want to think for the worst, you know?
It wasn't a far stretch. It had
a
an
smell.
odor to it.
It had a smell, and it looked like it had tannins because it was.
This is New York City. I don't know. This is like New York
It was
City.
so guys, imagine. So apparently, because apparently the leak was on the third floor.
It was.
So that's water that's been filtering through, and the building is what from the 20s, Depression era,
Yeah.
like 20s or let's say like post-war.
Yeah. Oh, and let's be real.
Post-First World War.
The landlord has made no improvements.
But that was gross, and then also the fact, like, remember all those things that we were all finding filled with water?
Filled with water.
Well, yes, I don't disagree.
Filled with
floors,
standing water,
and
the rot, the mold.
I will say
You know?
that irks me a little bit was that when we went and did the house call, we were not informed that the place had flooded multiple times.
Right.
And there was a fire.
Yes.
Whoa, that's pretty major.
Which explains a lot of the stuff on the top
explains
shelf.
all the
the
sooty
sooty
stuff
because of
on the
black-
stuff.
No,
So
because most of the kind of stuff like that we left behind when we took the stuff that's still
Some of the
sellable.
things-
But
I'm
yeah,
saying
it's unbelievable.
but within the cases,
Yeah,
and
no,
certain
it's unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a black grit.
There was a black
Yeah,
brick
it's like
to
there
it.
was a fire in
it's
there.
like very
that was
hard
not
to get
that
off.
was not disclosed to us till almost the last day.
Yeah.
Might have been the last day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Because
when
I
we
came
found
across
out.
all those paintings in that back corner.
Yeah, we left those.
We left a ton of them because the further in I got, I'm like, what happened here? And finally the daughter said, oh, there was a fire. I'm like,
Yeah.
clearly.
That
because
makes
the
sense.
painting would look okay from the front, but then I'd go to, move it and the whole back was just covered
With like crazing.
in soot and
Yeah.
crazing. And I
Wow.
said, what happened
got
here?
cooked. Yeah.
And then they said, and I was like, explains a lot.
Exactly.
It does.
But I know that you were going through jewelry this week, but the jewelry that you're going through now is actually for a sale that's in June, which we can
Okay.
talk about. But you really stepped up to the plate, and we did what? You did 320 lots of jewelry.
About, I think 340.
Yeah, it was something like
It was
that.
Yeah, almost
340.
350. Yeah.
Yeah, very close to 350.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what's coming up on
Yeah.
January 29th.
29th.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, Tracy. All right,
Yep.
on the
there
ball.
there is some wonderful
This is why she asks so many
mid-century
questions. She
jewelry
stores it all.
in this sale. Some
He's not
really great
listening. He
charms.
does.
Right, right. And now you're. This might be the last podcast you're on. I'm not sure. We're going to try to incorporate you in because you're going to AGI,
GIA.
GIA. I know I got it right.
I am, yes.
Geniuses Incorporated, GI, right?
Yeah,
there you go.
That's it.
But
That's it. Right
you're
on
going
the
to
list.
get your
I'm
certification.
going to become a graduate GG, a graduate gemologist through GIA, who some of you may know. Any fine piece of jewelry, any fine stones, diamonds, colored stones, usually come with a GIA report. They are the industry standard. They've kind of created that standard early on. They are right on the cutting edge of technology. They create this technology and also create a lot of opportunities for places that produce the colored stones, which is wonderful.
Now, I heard you're coming to class with some deep pockets because you're going to be playing with gems, and we have an outlet here to auction them.
That will not be happening. GIA students are responsible for all of the stones that
I
are
know you were
used.
telling me that. It's
If
amazing
you
to
lose
me.
one, you are
Responsible
hook
for
for
paying
it.
for
are
them.
responsible for paying for it.
You know what's funny? I just learned today, actually, through watching, reels and everything, that GIA has the highest standards as far as I don't want to call anybody else out, but an EGL is not.
There are lesser institutions. Yes.
But their standards
Yeah.
aren't as high.
Exactly.
They'll
Yes.
call a stone an IJ or an I, or something. Whereas GIA will say absolutely not.
And they'll map the stone as well, which other
Yeah.
places won't do. You will have an actual not drawn, but a computer created
Rendered.
Yeah, exactly. A computer rendering of your stone.
Yeah.
If there's any inclusions, they'll literally show exactly where they
Yeah.
are, what they are. But I'm really excited to go.
We're gonna miss having you around all the time. You know,
like I said, I think I should still be able to do the podcast
Good,
because I get out of the city pretty early. It's an early daytime type of thing, but I will be going full time. I'm greatly looking forward to it. I'm also extremely anxious and nervous about it because it is very expensive, and I really don't want to fuck it up.
Right.
Which I don't think I will, but that's just my natural anxiety.
We're not going to join the what's it called? This is the party house, frat house. Is there a frat house for the
There's
GIL?
no frats.
No frats. I can't believe it.
But can you
imagine like the Diamond District having like frat parties going on? You know?
I mean, technically, there's a lot of different cultures involved within the Diamond District. So I think, in a sense, there's definitely fraternal bonds within certain sects of that.
Are they pounding beers and doing shots?
No,
Doubtful.
but no.
That's the kind of frats I'm thinking about.
But it's going to be really cool. I'm excited to see where it leads.
Right.
Yeah.
Jewelry is a fascinating field. Personally, I would really like to stay in antique and estate.
Right.
I think that's really where I have my strength.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus, I'm just not crazy about a lot of modern pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
They're generic. That's just it. I'm just a picky bitch, and I have very high personal standards for what it will take to impress me.
Yeah.
In that sense, in terms of jewelry.
Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree
really
because
fun.
I mean, look at like Cartier, and we had a Van Cleef bracelet last year that brought like 30 grand, I think, if I remember correctly. I think the
Cartier.
the Cartier did, right? And we had a Van Cleef piece too.
We had a Van Cleef ring, which I now own.
Right, that's right. We had the Van Cleef ring.
baddie.
And we had we had another piece of Van Cleef that came through years ago and brought 20-some thousand.
Yes, that came from.
But it's really, I agree with you. When I'm looking at jewelry, I love the Victorian period and I love the Art Deco period, and you get into the Edwardian and
Nouveau.
that.
Oh yeah, I love
I mean,
Edwardian.
the stuff
me
is
too.
beautiful.
Give me a good bar pin any day.
I mean, if you look at like the Tiffany and Company produced, and Cartier and Van Cleef and these companies, and it shows when you go to sell it. I mean, you could just have any kind of diamond ring, and if it's just a plain Jane whatever, it's only like worth $500 to $700. But if it's Tiffany, it's going to jump up to the $10,000 to $15,000.
Well, you're not only
range.
paying for the name, you're paying for the reputation. You're also paying for the attention to detail and quality.
Quality,
yeah.
absolutely.
And I think that is true. Even with today's pieces, that's
Right.
why I tend to stick with more estate pieces, because the manufacturing, the attention to detail, it's just incredible compared to what you see in today's market.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
definitely.
I mean, even if you look at, I'm jumping ahead to June or July here, but what you went through this past week with the vintage stuff, I'm looking at it on the table. It's all great. There's great stuff there.
There's really great stuff, especially for the sale. But the gross part was, but then again, a lot of the great stuff always comes in dirty.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a good chance squirrels or mice probably lived in these containers at some point.
Who knows,
Which I can attest to,
They were
because I found
antiquing it.
many acorns. Tried acorns.
Well, maybe they were hoarding
boy.
diamonds,
in these
not
bins,
acorns.
and it was just a very sneezy group of pieces, and
Yeah.
it seems that they were packed in a hurry.
They were very.
It seems like somebody was clearing something out quickly, because there was only like 2-3 tubs,
Right.
Yes.
but they were packed tight.
Yeah.
This is coming
Literally.
from, this collection comes from what we just sold. We just sold a collection of vintage Christmas and Halloween and things of that nature.
There was some great stuff.
And
The
that
Halloween.
stuff was a little bit dirty, but
Those
same genre.
jack-o'-lanterns.
So it actually in the last auction that we just sold, we sold this little Halloween pumpkin dude.
This guy.
Oh, the Halloween pumpkin
that
man with
guy.
the fiddle.
It's like,
playing
I
the
wanted
guitar.
him.
My wife wanted it so bad, but it ended up bringing $3,250 plus the buyer's premium. Almost $4,000 for this little 6-inch.
Yeah,
Basically, if you've seen like Over the Garden Wall, he looked like one of the characters from Over the Garden
Yeah.
Wall.
Yeah, no, he was really cool, man.
Like the face, and he was playing the fiddle.
But
It was great.
all that stuff that we just saw was cool. The Halloween pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns that were bringing
Paper
300,
mache.
Paper mache.
400.
Oh, they were
all the little
delicious.
Santa guys that were holding the thing. They were
However,
fun.
and I know that was a mix of estates, though, the last sale.
It was a mix of estates.
Somebody had some bad mojo attached to them.
I don't know.
Because the last sale just brought out the worst in people.
You're talking about the back end after the sale.
On the back end, but not just one.
many
Multiples.
customers.
Well,
There's more emails waiting for you. Don't worry.
Oof, really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to look now.
No, don't look.
What? People wanted to return stuff, you mean? Whatever, man. I know there was some Christmas mornings that went out and UPS didn't pack it up very well.
No, they got crushed.
But that ain't our problem. The UPS
people were complaining about shipping and it
was
brought out a lot of people with some negative energy.
I don't know how
there was a lot
Christmas.
of negative.
What's the matter with those people?
There's a lot of negative energy people that I've been trying to fight off. Like, somebody find me the selenite.
Right, but I mean, I don't understand.
Tourmaline out.
Christmas is such a wonderful time here. You know, I truly believe, you know, I live my life this way, and I've said this to my father multiple times. Every day is Christmas. And he's always said, what would you like for Christmas? I don't need anything. Every day is Christmas. I'm surrounded in the auction business with so much stuff. And I think we feel that way too. Like we don't buy each other gifts or anything like that.
We tried for a few years
to buy each other gifts.
Right. And it was just stressful.
It is too stressful. Everybody.
Because
yeah.
If there's something we want, we just get it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Through the auction or whatever, we're always buying something that we like.
Things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, last year I had to dig out like creative, or I guess it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago was when we bought each other stuff, I think.
Oh my God.
It was so hard.
It was hard.
I forgot what I got you. What did I get you? Do you remember? I don't remember.
One year you got me a leg lamp.
I did get you that leg lamp.
Full-size leg lamp. It's glorious.
Full-size leg lamp.
It is a full-size leg, folks.
And then he started buying me the Department 56 Christmas story houses.
That's true. You know that leg lamp? You know where I bought
nice.
that from? I actually bought that from the Christmas Story Museum out in Ohio.
The house, yeah.
Oh, fun.
And do you realize
that does make it more legit.
It does make it legit. And do you know that you can actually sleep at that house where they filmed that?
Go there.
Film the movie. Yes. You can go there.
I've always wanted to go
It was
there.
like $250 a night or $300 a night. You rent the whole house for $300 a night. You can sleep in Ralphie's room, or you can go upstairs and modern apartment upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Or you can pay a little extra and actually sleep in the room that Ralphie,
slept in.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I thought we almost did that. There was like 4 years ago, we were about to go to Ohio and go that way, but there was nothing else really to do that way. So we would have went there and then maybe
Ohio.
It's Ohio.
Yeah, well, it is Ohio. I don't disagree.
Ohio.
But, I wanted to go to, what's the big, there's a big amusement park up there, Sandusky amusement park. That had all the biggest roller coasters on Lake Ontario there. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, they have all the big roller coasters up there in Sandusky. I know
Erica would know.
Erica would know this. Absolutely.
Erica would be like, it's that one.
But I said, we'll go and we'll go there. And then she's like, well, none of the kids ride roller coasters.
No, the
and she
kids
was
didn't
right.
ride
I'd be like,
roller
I guess I'd
coasters.
be the only one going on roller coasters,
alone.
Yeah, because it's not like we can go together and be like, okay, bye, Matt. You're 6.
I'd probably take the walk of shame on at least a half a dozen of them because they won't get the bar on me. And I had that happen recently at Great Adventure. Fucking Batman. I was all psyched. Matty, this is the first year Matt got to go on roller coasters. Like 2 years ago, he finally went on a roller coaster and he was a little scared. So I said, I'll go on Batman first. And I go on and they go to put the fucking lap bar on. And I'm like, sorry, you don't fit. I'm like, oh shit! Holy smokes! What the hell happened?
I recently had a shitty experience with Batman.
Really?
Well, I'm young. When I was younger, I remember going in when it just opened up.
Yeah,
when
me
it was
too.
So fresh.
Absolutely, it was great.
I went to Six Flags with friends,
right?
And I go they snap me in. But the seatbelt, that little janky little seatbelt thing, that's your fail safe in case the pressure
it
releases.
Lets go, yeah.
Oh, shit, if it lets go, I'll die. Whatever.
Stay in. He kept trying to put it in, and then it would stay for a second and then pop out.
Right.
And but the seat, the harness was already down.
Right.
So I literally they're like, all right, everyone good to go, and I was like,
no.
I raised my hand and I was like, I'm not fucking good, and I literally refused to ride the ride because I was like, bitch, if I'm gonna die on a roller coaster, let me die on a nitro. Let me die on
El Toro.
an El Toro or something. You know what I'm saying? But fucking Batman.
No. The runaway train. I had to walk.
Come on.
I had to walk down the runaway train. It got stuck going up the hill as a kid, and I had to get off and walk down it.
That happened when I was there too. I was online for Superman for over an hour. Broke down. They literally had to call services to get people down because where they were stuck.
This is scary. Can't do that.
Scary.
No.
Did you ever go on the Riddler? They had the Riddler at Great Adventure. It's true.
Yeah, riddle me that.
Come on, Riddler. You can answer that question.
I get vertigo
Vertigo
on roller coasters now.
Oh, you get vertigo. I thought you went on vertigo.
No.
I'm like, where's vertigo?
Post-child, that is what happened.
Really?
Yes. She messed me up in a lot of ways.
She be spinning.
That's a shame.
I can't even go on American merry-go-round.
God, you don't miss
Wow,
vertigo. Remember you used to get
no.
vertigo?
No,
I used
I
to get
can't.
vertigo.
Oh man.
Wow.
I cannot.
I used to get vertigo a lot.
Yeah, no, but it was after I had her. And
Oh,
then-
ever since you had your child.
Yes, she's almost 10 now. So
10
this
10 years.
And I've tried to get back on. Nope, can't do it.
Well, at least you'll fit on a roller coaster.
Well,
I don't
yes,
even fit.
I mean, I do.
I got on the Jersey Devil though. I fit on the Jersey
think we
Devil,
can all be a
which is
Jersey
a great
bitch
roller
sometime.
coaster, actually. Exactly. But so there's bad news in my emails, is what you're telling me. This is terrible. I don't want to even think about it.
No, we don't need to go back to it.
But that's where we're heading. But yes,
Kind of where we're heading.
tentatively. But yes, we so this jewelry that we were.
Yeah. There's some really beautiful stuff.
It's that era stuff. The same thing where we had all the paper mache and the Christmas items and all that kind of stuff. And this is there's Mariam Haskell jewelry. There's a ton of sterling jewelry.
let me
A lot
tell
of
you-
Bakelite.
Yeah, there's really great Bakelite. There's Lucite. There's a lot of great 30s and 40s, which you don't often get to see anymore
No.
because that market has kind of dried up. I always like to think that, that's kind of the interesting part of the antiques and collectible world, jewelry, whatever realm it may be, depending on your age and depending on when you get into it, really affects on what's available depending on what you're collecting.
Yes.
So it's like, imagine, my grandparents and my mom would have had better chances of getting amazing Victorian, more so than you would see today. Or in like the 80s, you'd be getting like the best 60s and 70s stuff.
Yep.
And vice versa.
Right.
But this sale especially, there's a ton of sterling, a decent amount of gold.
Okay.
But I will say the fur clips are magnificent. We're talking early Trifari when it was still sterling. We have crown brooches in multiple sizes.
We had a Trifari fur brooch not that long ago.
Brought like 1800.
Yeah, it did.
I'm not joking. Like the pile I have that I put to the side.
Okay.
We have bracelets. We have earrings, which are more on the rarer side.
think about that.
Match that you don't normally see.
That Trifari pin we sold, not gold. I don't think it was even set in silver. Was it? It might have
No,
been set. I don't think it was. It was
wasn't
just
set
a
in anything.
Trifari pin.
It
We
was a
got
fleur-de-lis
1800 for
with,
it. Yeah.
with rhinestone.
Yeah. Hopefully there's.
So
like that.
extremely collectible. I'm telling you, it's
Stuff
the
you don't
amount of
see
fur
every
clips,
day.
I'm telling you, like the pile that I have, I'm like, as I was making them and finding them, granted, all of these are in like brown bags.
Right,
They're so
right.
filthy. But as I'm opening it, I was just like,
You know what I hated?
oh
the
my
most?
God. It's incredible. And I
used
just
to-
finished my rough sort. So I'm sorry not to cut you off.
You know what? No, that's okay. Well, I used to hate photographing that shit. Fucking meaning jewelry. Yeah, it's
an easy
hard.
front and back.
I know you might say it's easy, but for me,
Sides.
getting the.
Depending on whether it's 2D or
But what I'm saying is
Yes.
trying to get the stupid signature,
Those are
the
difficult.
14
Yes,
karat
it is.
signature, and
Your
you're
lens
fighting
can't go.
with the
Yeah,
zoom,
with
and
the
you're trying to get in there to
focus.
get the right
It
photo.
won't focus.
It
No,
won't focus.
sometimes
I
it
enjoy
won't.
it. You need to find that sweet spot.
You do.
Yeah.
We need a shorter lens.
You do.
We need a shorter lens.
I think I would just start throwing shit back there, get all mad.
I was gonna say.
I get angry over that kind of stuff. You know how hard it is. Oh, it's aggravating.
We just need a short. The amount of money that we've put into that photographing booth.
Yeah, I know.
Why
Tracy,
not just
thank
get
you.
another
Made me
short?
spend all this money.
Spend
You
more
wanna
money and
be
get a
better,
short
don't
lens.
you?
Oh, yes, I do want to
Yes,
be better.
every
but-
day.
I
Yeah.
built Tracy
She
a table
cost
that
me
was
$3
up and
grand in
down.
It's
supplies.
You're trying
amazing.
to, raise
Elevate
yourself
the
as well.
situation.
Yeah,
Working
elevate
on the
to an
backdrop
upper
still.
echelon.
Shit,
We're working on that progress.
It got so good that her table elevates, you know.
It's
and
fantastic.
I'm not gonna lie.
Now the
Push of a
table goes
button.
up and down.
It's
You got to
I'm
be
not
jealous.
gonna lie. I was low key jealous. Fuck.
It's fantastic.
No, genuinely, because like I saw it and I was like, and here my dumbass is on a low table with cast iron and fucking old military equipment.
Yeah, no, it's
hauling
hard.
it onto the table myself
Yeah.
because Jeffrey's useless and fucking fucking putting it on, taking it off. My back fucking hurts. My
Well, it
arm
is.
hurts. My shoulder hurts. The
You know-
fuck.
you know,
Tracy comes.
Tracy gets a motorized table.
That's right.
But you know what's funny, and here's a great thing on what you just
was
said.
funny. It was funny. I'm over it now.
Jeffrey
Are
was
you,
saying
though?
today, "Oh, we'll do my job. This is hard, you know, this and
Maybe.
that." But the reality is, you know, taking photographs ain't no joke, man.
No, it's no
you
joke.
You do an 8-hour job of taking photographs. Your back is killing you. You're bending
yeah.
over.
Your
You're
arm,
moving
shoulder,
this
the
stuff.
camera's
Your
fucking
arm,
heavy.
you know, your forceps. You got. I mean, look at this muscle she's got right here. My God, it's like she's like a muscle woman here. You know, holding the camera. I just remember holding the camera. My camera ain't light. That camera's got to be about
It's
10
a- it's a
pounds.
couple pounds.
Like,
Yes.
your hand starts
Yeah, this isn't like, you know, some Canon one shot that's like a 1 ouncer. This
No.
thing is like 10 pounds of
No, it's
commercial
10
grade,
pounds,
you know?
sure.
It's great pictures.
No, it does take great pictures.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
But we've made like a whole spot.
From where I
backdrops.
started, when I started the way that we started
Right.
to where we're going and, where we're headed, just progress.
Yeah,
It's
no,
better.
it is
I will
progress.
say the pictures look fabulous, though. You do an amazing
They're
job.
getting better. We're working on getting them better. And, that's what the goal is just to keep going.
No, it shows. The photos
Elevating.
are
Yeah.
phenomenal.
No,
No,
now,
the photos
now
are
we just have to fight with that black backdrop.
Oh, that
Makes me
black
wanna buy
one.
Oh,
more.
because it's heavy, right?
No,
Because it
it's
reflects
shiny.
too much. Even though it's matte, it reflects like crazy.
Yes.
Right.
Can't
So
do,
we have
can't do
to-
glass on it because it
The
just
glassware
looks bad.
doesn't because it just reflects.
Yeah.
So we have to either get a fabric or a felt.
I was
or
gonna
something.
say like a
Felt.
fabric or like even like a velvet or something with density.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, a
Kind of
velvet.
A velvet.
That's not
Get
a
a velvet
bad
curtain.
Because you could brush it.
A Velvet Elvis.
You know what I mean? You
A
could brush
velvet
it. You could
Elvis.
back into
Yeah,
it
we
if
got
you
Velvet
need to.
Elvis back there. I like
Well, I was
Velvet
hoping
Elvis.
to just kind of glue it onto the vinyl so that it'll just roll up and down easy. Once I get that roller.
Or you could get
fixed
that
for
paint. You could get the
Tracy.
blackest black.
Oh, the
That
Vanta
absorbs,
black.
The Vanta black.
Vanta
that
black.
like literally.
It absorbs. It's the blackest black because it
I'll tell you,
absorbs the most.
any of our
light.
listener out there, if you have a trick with how
A
the photography,
suggestion.
or a black drop, because it's hard when you're photographing cut glass or clear glass.
'cause you can't
very
see
You
difficult.
want to
White.
backlight it and you want to be able
Yeah,
to
it's
see
very
it.
Or
difficult.
Swarovskis.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree. So, what was your most memorable or favorite Christmas ornament, or not Christmas ornament, Christmas gift that you got? We were talking about Christmas
Gifts.
Yeah, that
So-
either you gave or you got. I'll take either one. I'm kind of curious.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to. You can come back to me. A symptom of my ADHD is and past trauma is I often forget. I don't remember a lot of my. I don't remember like certain things.
That's
from my
fine. No,
childhood.
that's
Like,
fine.
and
I'm
not
just
that it
kind of
was-
curious.
from your
and not that
memory.
it was so traumatizing, but like it's just a lot of people with who are neurospicy have
I
issues
understand.
with recalling,
Yeah.
Recall.
recall,
Yeah.
and it's. I'll have to think about
What
it.
I remember as a
Not to
kid,
make
and
it
I'll come to
weird,
you,
but yeah.
Tracy.
boy, I mean-
What I remember,
Yeah.
I think I was like,
what I remember as a
100%.
kid, one of the best years I ever had as a kid, I got an electronic bowling game from my father and a pinball machine all in the same year.
Oh, he was
And
spoiled.
I was not spoiled.
Spoiled.
Whatever. I'm a hoarder. I'm a spoiler. I don't know.
Spoiled.
We have another session on my hoarding. That'll be next session.
Oh my God,
I
he
could
is
use
a
that.
hoarder, and he finally admitted
Yeah,
it.
I know. I'm not there yet. I'm not admitting it just yet. We're getting there.
Admitting
We're
it
getting
is
there.
part of the problem.
first
It's the first
It's-
step.
I
We
guess
just
so.
said that
First step is
today.
He
admitting
did
that
admit
you
it,
have a
just no
problem.
one was there. He was like, God, I guess I am a hoarder.
I did say that, but the world doesn't need to know yet. We'll see.
They know now.
But
They know now.
well,
They
I
know
wasn't.
now.
I'll just bleep that out.
Exactly.
Like a solid 2 minutes. I'll just be-
So this the first year, this 1 year, I was probably about 8 years old, 7 years old. I got a electronic bowling game. It was so fucking great. I don't even know what I've never seen one. Like, we've sold lots of things. I go, oh yeah, I remember I had that as a kid. This as a kid. This I've never seen. And I had the Fonz pinball machine. It was the Fonz. Yeah, like, hey.
Yeah, I'm telling you, spoiled.
And I got some
Spoiled.
money. Yes, I'm an only child.
I told
I had a wonderful father.
I told a story.
I'm still spoiled. That's okay.
I told a story in the back probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I know Erica was there and somebody else, and they were in tears. They were like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
What?
About my childhood and getting presents. And so if my mom ever watches this,
She will.
we were, I'm saying, when I was little and my parents were still married, we didn't have any money. We had no money.
Right,
We'd
right.
go out and buy the Charlie Brown Christmas tree on Christmas Eve, and
But I like the Charlie Brown Christmas.
and my mom would save her, literally would go to like flea markets with like a roll of quarters that she had saved up through the year. And that's what she would buy as presents with. So when my parents divorced, fast forward, my stepfather came in the picture. And that first Christmas, there's pictures of it. The entire living room was filled.
Aw.
Filled. And so I opened everything, but I brought it all in my room and I wouldn't take it out of the box. And they were like, what are you doing? I'd never owned new things before.
Yeah.
So I would leave it all in the box, But I did 1 year before they got married, the best thing I ever got. And because my poor mother had to sacrifice for this, it was the year Teddy Ruxpin came out.
Oh.
And I wanted a Teddy
wanted one
Ruxpin. I remember Teddy
bad.
He's a Teddy Ruxpin. He's scary.
And
No.
so
Not like the Furby scary.
Yeah,
No,
but he
no.
no. You know, we can make a movie out of this. I'm
and
sorry. Go ahead.
so my aunt and uncle who live in New York said, "Oh, what does she want for Christmas?" And my mom said, "Well, she's asking for Teddy Ruxpin, but it was $40.
That would be fine.
Back in the 80s, it
Yes.
was $40, and my mom was a single mom; she didn't have $40.
Right.
So somebody went out and bought it and said, "Here, give this to her, oh, but you owe me $40."
Oh.
And it took her forever to pay it back.
Right.
So yeah. So that's my most memorable because it has to be. You know,
Right.
Poor mom and the
You want to
Teddy
really come to
Ruxpin.
me?
Yeah, let's hear what Tracy has. Yes, I would like to know what your best Christmas.
My
present-
best Christmas gift
Your
Yeah.
best.
was when my ex left.
Oh, wow. I understand that. I do understand that 100%.
Wow.
Technically, he made the announcement at Thanksgiving.
Ooh,
And
so
then,
Really, he made the like at Thanksgiving dinner.
like, he pulled us. Well, we had discussed it before, but he.
But was actually with all the family, like everybody.
No, just my
Oh,
parents.
okay, I was about to
just
say.
my parents. He pulled them aside and he was like,
Oh, your parents. Wow.
"Yeah, like I'm leaving."
Damn. I
He was out by Christmas. He was out like in the next week or two.
Right.
Fucking great.
wow.
Wow. I can't imagine.
Best gift.
I can't imagine like when I left my ex going to imagine drawing in the whole family at Thanksgiving and going, hey, by the way,
I'm
fuck
leaving.
you all, I'm leaving. I just can't believe it, man. That's
crazy.
unreal, man. That's crazy.
I mean, I'm being facetious, but no.
No, I understand.
That was,
But in reality,
yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the
Absolutely
best
it was.
Christmas gift ever.
Best gift ever.
I love it.
Their load got lightened instantly.
Not instantly. It took a little while.
Let's
Well,
get some new Christmas songs going. And when my ex left yesterday, oh my God, I'm happy.
I hate that was on beat too.
So, what did you come up
He
with?
ain't shit, ain't never gonna be shit ever.
Holy smokes!
I'm still thinking. My parents got divorced when I was about 6, so
Right.
like Christmas has got a little weird
Right,
after that.
but there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe I'm talking even
one that's really sticking in my mind. I don't remember if it was Christmas or a birthday, but when I
Right.
got Nintendo,
Yes.
my grandmother bought me Nintendo when Nintendo came out,
Yep.
and I was beyond.
Yep.
I was like so excited.
Nintendo was the best, man.
See, and
Yeah.
that very first Christmas that I was talking about with my stepfather, I got a Nintendo, and I did take that out of the box.
So I think that's sticking out. But honestly, like I remember Christmases, like it was always fun. Like I would get cool stuff. It
Right,
was great,
right.
but it wasn't anything like I was like,
well,
like freaking out over.
Well, church for me was always a church. Christmas for me was always church. You know, with my father being a pastor, we were there for Christmas Eve service. We had candlelight service every year, and then Christmas Day we would go to church in the morning, and that would be that. And a lot of times, as I got older, we would just go to the Hyatt Hotel for lunch or dinner because nobody cooked because they worked all Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
True.
We would never have like family together or anything like that because the church was kind of like the family. You know,
We'll see how
But-
Christmas Eve goes this year.
We kind of do that at my house too, like my roommates, because
Right.
a lot of our friends, as well as myself, were church musicians.
Right.
So Christmas is busy season.
Yeah.
Me, not so much anymore, but like especially my friends who are like music directors or things like that. So we'll kind of come together around
Yeah,
like 2 a.m.
yeah.
and then kind of stay up until like 4 or 5 because that's like really the only time.
Right.
And then afterwards, then go do our own family things. You know?
Yeah.
Nintendo for me, you know how did you have a Nintendo?
Yes, I did.
When did you get your Nintendo?
I mean, well, I got it. My brother got it.
Your brother got
My
it.
brother got it. My younger brother, he got one.
The
But I
younger brother got one before you?
Absolutely.
What the hell?
He's the favorite.
What the hell?
Wow. So
Family tea.
we're having therapy here. We
Therapy
have
session
we
today.
we have my younger
been an
brother's the
interesting one.
favorite and my ex left me and I celebrated. Ooh, where else can we go with this?
We can go in a lot of different directions here.
I'm sure we can.
where the path takes us.
Did you fight over who was going to play the Nintendo?
We were actually really good. The person that we fought a lot was my dad because he loved Tetris. He
Tetris is
loved
great.
Tetris, and he was always like, "I want to play. I want to play."
Also Russian. Well, it's true. You said that's a Russian. He likes the Russian. Well, Tetris is Russian, in my opinion.
It is.
It's a Russian game.
It has the thing. No, there was a Tetris movie.
They made a movie about how it came to the U.S. and it's actually like a crazy.
Really?
Wow.
That's interesting.
A lot of espionage.
I believe a lot of espionage.
A lot of KGB action happening.
Yeah,
No wonder he liked it for real.
No, but actually,
that's some crazy shit right there. I love Tetris. Is one of my favorite
love Tetris.
games.
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario's a little bit tougher.
It's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, I don't
Still
like
good,
Dr.
though.
Mario
I
as
like
much as
Dr. Mario.
Tetris is the
like,
best.
Have you played like the new Tetris on PS5?
No.
So my son has it on his PS5 and Xbox, and it's got this so crazy like techno slow music that's more calming, and as you hit
so
it,
it's
it
not
goes
anxiety
as it comes in,
inducing.
it flashes and like boom, and then it goes do, and you get in and you boom.
Oh.
It's really cool.
Very trippy.
It's really it's very trippy. It's very, very trippy. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was fantastic. But how I got my Nintendo, I was a paper boy at the time, so I would have been about 12 years old when I got my Nintendo. And the way I got mine was I had a paper route, and if you got 10 new people to subscribe to you, the Home News gave you a Nintendo. So I was there. I had 8 people, and then I had to get 2 more people, and I didn't realize it. So what I did was I signed up 2 fictitious people over on these other roads and signed them on, got my free Nintendo. Then I canceled 2 other people, but basically the other 2 come on. But I used to do that all the time. I would cancel people and turn people, and I would give free papers to different people to get them to sign on and this and that. And that way I would be selling more papers, but in theory, not selling papers, just moving people around.
foreign salesman.
Exactly. That was exactly. We had free sales. There's
Hustler.
nothing wrong with that. I was
Look at that.
fluffing the
Look.
numbers to win. There's
That-
nothing wrong with that.
that
What do you think
stare.
all these companies do? You look at Mayfair Foodtown. I know that the store manager would be stealing money from the meat department to put it over in the dairy department. As long as the budget looked fine, it didn't matter how you were getting the numbers. The jive. Don't look at me like that. What?
So this party's been super fun. We're gonna go.
Well, between
We
that.
had the best time.
Well, there you go. Well, between that and the radioactivity that we
Like,
lost, and the
well-
people buried in the back with the ashes, we're batting 1,000 here.
He was texting me. I gotta go. Sorry. There's
past
a
the
family
freckle.
emergency
Gotta go.
happening.
Oh man, I don't know, but yes. So the jewelry stuff, and today we were playing with Star Wars, and Star Wars should be when this podcast comes out. We should be right there to sale for Star Wars. But may the force be with you. What a great array of vintage and new stuff. But the amount of vintage that we found today, unbelievable. I found so we have a.
Now, is this somebody else's Star Wars
So
collection?
it's 2
or
collections.
Is this a part of?
No, there's 2 collections there. So we have the ending of our lovely gentleman we've been selling for 3 years, the toy collection that passed away here from South Brunswick, that wanted to open the toy store, which we talked about in episode 1. We have the end of his Star Wars in
Okay.
this sale.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Yeah, but it should be episode 3 first, then 1, right?
Sure.
That's how
That's
Star
how
Wars
Star Wars
goes.
goes.
It's the Star Wars code. You
So I
don't know
said
Star
episode.
Wars?
I'm gonna
Come on,
believe
man.
ya.
You
Whatever
gotta be on
you
the
say.
good force, man. The good force.
Whatever you say.
Whatever I say. So in the second part of the sale, we sold a nice collection. This gentleman, hardcore collector, only bought mint things and things that were sealed and things like that. And
Okay.
we sold his airplanes and gas powered cars about 3 months ago.
Yeah, the engines. And
Yeah, the
things.
engines and stuff
Those
3 months ago.
smoked.
And hey, they did smoke. Remember, there was
They
a couple
smoked.
gas cars that brought 1,800 or
Yeah.
2,200.
And some of those planes were rare
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So he had a storage unit over in Scotch Plains, and he collected. And I got the feeling from him his father might have collected too, and there was like a mixture of his stuff and his father's stuff. Not too sure, but he was paying all this money in storage, and he finally said, let's just get rid of it. And I remember I took it blind, really. I didn't even really know it was in the boxes. So like, talk about Christmas. Unpacking that the last 2 days was like Christmas.
So this is what we call wrapped in a bow.
Wrapped in a bow. This one is wrapped in a bow.
present.
I mean, it's funny too because his stuff smoked. The only thing he was like shaky on was this speaker system, which I still haven't sold. He has like a 1960s like Oki, I think it's an OKI speaker system, like surround round, heavy dude. He thinks it's worth $100,000. He saw it on eBay for $100,000. Don't believe what you see on eBay, ladies and gentlemen.
You
gotta look at the sold exactly. So there was a couple people who listed it for 80,000, 100,000, whatever. And when you really look at it sold,
that much.
I was finding maybe 5,000 or 6,000
for $1 million.
When I did research, I don't know what he's thinking. So I haven't sold it yet. That's sitting in the trailer because I kind of it was one of those. He wanted to get out of the unit. He wanted to stop paying out of the unit. We loaded it all on the truck, and then after it's all loaded, he hits me. Oh, I'm going to get at least 10,000 for that speaker. So I said, no, man, you ain't. And he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to sell it. I said, if I would have known that, you could have kept it. I don't have no guarantee on stuff like that. You know, I can't guarantee that. And I think it's a far fetch of getting to that price. I think it's a hard swing. So we'll see. But this is the guy I'm talking about.
Okay.
So it was really like Christmas where he loved Boba Fett. Thank God he loved Boba Fett because Boba Fett is like, I'm probably saying it's Boba Fett probably.
Boba Fett.
Right? Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Who cares?
Like
you all know who I'm
tea.
talking about. The guy who killed Han Solo. He didn't really kill Han Solo, but he really took him in The Empire Strikes Back, which really very upsetting. You know, it was a very sad time. Princess Leia. I cried. You know, I'm a little kid when I saw Empire Strikes Back. I cried during that. And they're torturing Han, and he's getting electric shocked. It was very sad.
Tracy looks scared.
Oh, but it's true. It was very sad when Han. You've never seen Star Wars?
No.
Oh my! From a galaxy far, far away. I mean, my God, this is unbelievable.
Christian just got
sacrilegious.
All right, you two out. Christian, come sit down. We need to talk.
So, we're gonna have to. You're gonna you're gonna have to watch Star Wars. Now. We're gonna have to.
I have seen them all.
Thank you, sir. Very good. I think you've never see. Even as a kid, I went to see it in the movie theater. I stood in line for 3 hours for Return of the Jedi at Menlo Park Mall. Go ahead.
No, I just never did. No.
Have you seen The Notebook?
The Notebook?
Yeah. I'm just curious. Did you see?
Yes, I have. A long time ago.
Oh, right.
Sure.
Oh, see. Well, what genre movie do you like? I'm just
I don't
curious.
watch movies. I watch what my daughter watches on TV.
Oh, I've done that too. I've got all that.
I mean,
she doesn't watch Star Wars. You don't have Disney Plus. What's the matter?
No, we do not have Disney Plus. We do not have
Disney
streaming
Plus.
services. Like we don't.
Disney Plus playing games.
We don't
So
do
you
that.
watch Bluey.
Sorry.
Not the shutdown.
Not inside his sweatshirt behind
So
the camera.
You have Bluey?
She's seen Bluey. She's past Bluey now, though.
Okay, so what are we into?
She watches people playing video games now.
Oh, on
you're
YouTube.
right. That
She does
face.
that.
Oh, thank God that face
My
is over.
kids
She
watch
watches
that
that.
too.
Like
Yes.
the split screen.
Thank God that's
Yes.
over.
I could have made a living playing video games.
Yes,
you know?
you could have.
No.
Absolutely. Yeah.
then you
Sorry,
never would've
you
met
didn't.
us.
You don't know
You never
about
met
me.
Wow.
You don't know anything about. I'm not.
So
I'm very new to antiques, right? Like I don't know anything about this.
So Boba Fett was a bounty hunter. Boba, BB, Booba.
You out.
All right, so
You.
all right,
Out.
all right. Let's call it the Fett.
The Fett.
The Fett.
Just call him the Fett Man.
Yeah, the Fett. He was a bounty hunter that went after Han Solo
Okay.
and captured
That
Han
was Harrison
Solo
Ford.
and took him back to Jabba the Hutt.
Yes.
Yes.
I know a little.
So there we go. So his collection is all about
There's a lot of Boba Fett.
yeah. There is an Empire Strikes Back.
Erica
Minon
found
card,
a toy in there
Boba
yesterday.
Fett that is graded, which is very rare that you find graded. And
Boba Fett.
we're fine. We're gonna put a $4,000 to $8,000 estimate on it, but this thing could bring $10,000 plus. I mean,
That tiny toy, right?
the one that's in a box.
Yes, it was. The toy itself is about this big. The box itself is
Right,
about
and
that,
it's
it's sealed in
it's
plastic.
sealed in plastic because it was
Yeah.
graded.
She's like, there's this
So,
shiny
yeah.
toy in there.
That could literally bring $10,000. You know,
That is,
Yeah.
as somebody focused more so on the antique side of things, it always boggles my mind every single time, whether it's Hellraiser, whatever it could
Whatever
be,
the
whatever
toys
these
are.
collectibles are,
The
it
toys-
blows my mind every time.
The
Right,
toys
right.
are.
Really,
Toys are crazy.
Yeah, there's
wild.
something.
you're
to me.
buying
It's
back
wild.
your
Buying back your
memories, man.
memories.
I mean, listen. So my Star Wars toys as a kid, I sold at a yard sale when I was about 10 or 11. I sold all my Star Wars toys and I made like $200. I was so excited, but now I look at it, I could sell one action figure for $200. You know what I do? I fucked up. You know, I sold it all.
Need a time machine.
Yeah, but then I bought them back at auction when I was like 17. I think I resold them. I don't think do I have any more Star Wars stuff around? I realize I don't. I really don't have any of my vintage Star Wars, that's for sure. But yeah, so, and he has at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 13 to 15 autographed by the actor who played Boba Fett, signed action figures, and they're signed by the actor Boba Fett. All legit. Okay. That's all up in there too. Crazy. That's what I was going through today and putting them into series and things of that nature. But so going to be and Lego sets like you can't believe. All
Lego?
factory sealed.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of Lego sets?
So the Lego, you have the Death Star, and then you had
Star Wars.
And Star Wars.
Okay.
So
I understand.
Tracy is no longer
do you know what the Death Star is?
Yes, I do.
The ultimate
I photographed
What is wrong with
many
you,
of them.
Lola?
The ultimate weapon with the dumbest weakness ever.
Well, that's because a rebel put that in there to protect the world. That's why he put it in there.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. So you got
Still the greatest weapon ever. Okay.
yeah, but
The next one to get kicked out.
So you got the Death Star, and then you got the Starfighter in there. I can't think of the name of that either. Now I'm screwing up. But you have Legos that are in there
Christian,
that
would you
are
like
like
to
300,
take my
400 a
seat?
piece, factory sealed, 500 a piece. But yeah, no. So
I watched Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, the movie. Spaceballs.
Now she's
the
just
shirt.
taunting him.
Spaceballs, the ornaments. Here you go. Spaceballs, the
What
ornaments.
can we do to get
Yes.
Christian on this side of the camera?
That's what I mean. Schwartz be with you. I agree. I love Spaceballs.
What's it
Another great
Mel
movie.
Brooks?
Yeah.
Turtle.
That's it.
Isn't Chewie's name Puke in that? Isn't he like his name Puke?
That's it.
Barf. That's it. Barf. Barf.
I'm just watching Christian wondering what it's going to take to get him so angry that he comes and just pulls the microphone out of one of our hands.
I am never invited back.
Also, the fact that Joan Rivers has such a heavy role
She does have a heavy role in that.
in that movie.
The chastity belt thing.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. I love it.
It's funny.
Combing the tattoo-one.
Shit!
Yes. We ain't found
You guys
shit.
found anything? No,
Yes.
sir, we haven't found anything. You guys found anything? We ain't found shit.
What a great movie. So yes, Star Wars is in, and that's coming up on
coming up.
the 30th. And actually, you know what I found today too? There's a Star Wars #1 comic in that collection, and it's graded a 9.4, which should bring 500 plus because it's a 9.4. That's what I was finding in that comic. So fantastic stuff, guys. Fantastic stuff coming up. And remember, if you have a story at home and you would like to discuss it here on Bodnar's Bid and Banter, and you have a story about something you found and you sold it for a lot of money, or you might have found something that at auction that nobody else knew about and you found it, we want to hear about it. Email us, talk about it. We will definitely bring it onto the podcast and discuss. So make sure you find out. Thanks for joining us today. Once again, I'm Joe Bodnar. You are
Maureen.
Yes, and we got the wonderful
Danny
and
Tracy.
thanks for joining us. Great. Follow us, bodnarsauction.com. Follow us on Facebook. Make sure you check it out. Don't miss an episode ever. We're coming back in another couple weeks. Bodnar's Bid and Banter. Thank you. Have yourself a wonderful day.
See you guys.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Hey, Joe Bodnar here. Thanks for watching the show. Hope you enjoyed that show. We'll be watching every single month here at bodnarsauction.com, or to follow us at bodnarsauction.com on Facebook, Instagram, or check us out at bodnarsauction.com. Thanks for joining us. See you next time on the podcast.